Hello guys, Matt here, back at it in Car Mechanic Simulator, and we're getting close to Easter, that's for sure. We're getting Easter eggs showing up in the shop. Maybe we'll find an Easter egg at the junkyard auction, because I think that's where we're heading. Yeah, it sounds good to me. I don't know what we're gonna find, but I mean, you guys know. You read the title. I don't know yet, but I'm excited to go find out. I'm pretty stoked to come across this. This is the Brian O'Connor. I mean, it's in really bad shape. Ford Escort. What's left of it? Like, yeah, there's not much, if anything, which I kind of love these builds when we go from like next to nothing, especially on a special car like this. A right-hand drive Ford Escort, Brian O'Connor, Fast and Furious 6. I think it was 6, right? I believe it was. Probably need to go ahead and make a play on this and see if we can bring it back to its former glory. There's so much I love about the Fast and Furious. I mean, everybody does. Like, there's so many, especially people that like grew up watching the whole Fast and Furious series, and we got it. We got it. Actually, I think at a pretty good price. We'll take it at $4,722. Send it to the garage. And here we are. Yeah, there's not much left, if anything. It looks like a decently complete engine, which, I mean, we can work with that. Body panels. Yeah, we can just order those. But yeah, let's send this thing inside and see what we're working with. I think definitely a welder treatment would definitely help a lot with how it looks right now. So we'll go ahead and use equipment. Yes. It's going to help something. Yes, there we go. See, now she's coming together. There it is. Okay, that can go back to where it came from. I haven't even washed it yet. Actually, we should probably go wash this thing just to see if that helps anything out at all. And at least everything's clean. There's still a lot of surface rust and stuff on that door, which is fine. I'm sure we'll be able to fix that. It'll be interesting to see if we have any oil left in this thing, or if it even has an oil pan. I didn't even check. We do have one, yes, so we can use. Yeah, oh yeah, that it was super dark and not much left, so I can go back to where it came from. And yeah, I went ahead and planned on doing a full engine teardown anyways and rebuild with performance parts and stuff, as we typically do. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. Always thought these Escorts were cool. Not much weight, not a whole lot of power, but they were a ton of fun. It's kind of like a Miata. You don't need a whole lot of power when you don't have much weight. You just have fun with the thing. Looking at the swap options, I see we have the inline 4 dual overhead cam TAE and the inline 5, which I believe is a Volvo motor. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I also see inline 4 dual overhead cam SR20 DET. I think, I'm very curious because I feel like this is going to take more power and make more power. Thinking maybe we go with this engine and get rid of the TAE. The inline 5 would be interesting, but I want to save that for a Volvo build because I have some really cool Volvo mods in here. So we'll save that for that. I think we're going to go for the inline 4 dual overhead cam SR20 DET and see how much power we can throw at it. Have a lot of fun with this car. I'm starting to notice some interesting placement of things, like a fuel tank right here on the side. That is interesting. And the brake master cylinder mounted sideways. Very different. Never seen that before. Like, to me, it looks like the windshield washer reservoir is where the brake master cylinder should be. Well, actually, it would be on this side since it's right-hand drive. And then, yeah, that should be there. I don't know. I didn't make the mod. I appreciate the mod builders that did. I don't think I've ever really taken time to appreciate the modeling of worn tires, too. Like, those look legitimately worn. Let's go ahead and pull this door off. And I think majority wise, as far as the body, there's not a lot, not a lot here. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot as far as body wise. And I'll start back here. Go ahead and grab that fuel tank. Oh, we got to grab the fuel pump first, then the tank can come out. Accessible from underneath. Okay, we'll grab the battery then. We'll go put that on the charger before I forget to do so. And we get that charging. So I'll move up to the front and remove some of this stuff. Windshield washer reservoir. We got to go ahead and empty that. There we go. Just like that. And then out it can come with no mess, no issues. Looks like there's no fluid in the brake master cylinder. We'll go ahead and pull that. Not sure if we have coolant in the radiator, so let's go ahead and check that. And we did, so it's a good thing we didn't just yank that thing out. And now we can pull. We've got a very dirty air filter over here. Get that out of the way. And then I think that's pretty much it as far as the engine bay stuff that comes out. Looks to be so. Now we'll go ahead and just lift the car up, grab that fuel tank, just like that. While we're down here, let's go ahead and pull the exhaust. Get the front piece out of the way, the middle muffler, and then the rear. And let's go ahead and disconnect the drive line. No stuck bolts back here. That's interesting. And we got one up here. It looks like it would have more though, to be honest. And we can pull that. Can we get to the starter from under here? Indeed we can. And we got a stuck bolt there. And we can get this gearbox out of the way. And I figure I might as well just go ahead and pull the clutch set. Release bearing. Pressure plate. All this stuff is so rough. It's in really bad shape. Clutch plate and the flywheel can come on out. Let's flip around and start tearing down the rear of the car first this time. 2 stuck bolts there. One there and one there. Pull these lugs off. I do like the color of the wheels. They just need to be not so rusty. We get the brake caliper off of there and the brake pads, brake disc. Get our solid axle out. I'm kind of surprised by how complete the suspension is actually, considering the shape of the car. Let's get these U-bolts undone here. Interesting that neither of those were stuck. Those in real life for me are always pretty stuck. Let's get the rubber bushing out. Solid rear control arm. Then we get that strut there. We'll get the spring out of the way, and that is that side done. Onto the other side. And now we can get this axle housing out of the way. That is the rear done. Onto the front. Let's get this boy, got 2 stuck lug nuts here out of the way. And I suppose for real life mechanic type work, it depends on where you're from. When I say I get stuck bolts a lot on the we got to get this sway bar in link. I live in an area where they put salt on the roads, so everything kind of corrodes. And when you get underneath an older car especially, they just kind of fuse together after so much. Look at this, 2 stuck bolts right here. Exactly what I'm talking about. It all kind of fuses together. It takes a lot more than a little spritz of WD-40 or even one of my favorites, PB Blaster, but you can get them off. Just annoying. Dealing with so many stuck bolts. We'll get this front steering knuckle off. Inner tie rod. Ooh, gotta grab these rubber bushings. Can't forget those. That one's out. And that is that side done. Onto the other side. Another thing I'll add is I restore classic cars in my home shop. So a lot of the fasteners that I come across have been held together for many years, and sometimes just they have become one. Get this rubber bushing out. We can drop this cross member, or actually we'll grab the sway bar first, steering rack, drop the cross member, and we are ready to pull this engine. This car is coming apart, what I meant to say, very quickly. Let's go get that engine cherry picker. Let's go ahead and pull that engine out. It is no more. And onto the stand it goes. I'm going to take a second to appreciate how well this looks. All torn down. Everything looks so shiny and new. No more looking at rust other than the engine we're about to tear down. And then, yeah, we'll be looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and, I don't think I've done this engine before. Pull off the throttle body. The extremely long bolts that those have, it seems like. intake manifold. We've got some stuck ones here. 3 of them to be exact. And off that comes. Might as well grab this timing cover here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this fan, get it out of the way. Yeah, decent amount of stuck bolts on this one. Off that comes. And, oh yes, we need to grab the power steering belt there, and then we can grab the harmonic balancer, get the power steering pump out of the way, as well as our alternator. It'll be interesting to see what kind of horsepower we can make with this little engine. I mean, Cosworths were legendary, are legendary. Every one of these bolts is stuck. How about that? Yeah, sorry if I sniffle and stuff and whatnot on camera. I'm just dealing with, it's that time of year, allergies. And they are not being very forgiving right now. Idler roller, get that out of the way. And our timing belt can come on out, as well as our cam gears. Get this water pump while we're right here. Off it comes. Anything else on the front of the engine? Yes, we've got this cover here. And then, oh, this is so cool. We got a distributor. I love working on these older ones. It is a lot of fun. We got a clip there. And do we have one under here? We do indeed. Go ahead and pull that cap. Yeah, I've never done this engine before, so this is really cool. And get the distributor housing itself out. Spark plug cover. I don't know why it needs fasteners quite that hefty, but apparently it does. We'll get this engine head cover off. I've done a variant of this engine recently too, but not this, there we go. Not this particular version with the distributor, which is interesting because it's got a distributor, but a throttle body. And this might have been around that time, and a fuel rail. And this might have been around that time that they were, you know, mix and matching some of those. Let's get these spark plugs out. Yeah, if any of you guys know, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know. We don't have these in America. I've never worked on one, so not something I'm familiar with, but I think it's very, very cool. Let's go ahead and pull all these cam retainers. I'm not gonna make you sit through that. And we have our final one here. Then the cams can come out themselves. And let's try to get this manifold off. Yes, we've only got one stuck bolt on this, which is crazy because in real life, yeah, these are the ones you guys know. The ones that do work on cars know that those are the ones that are always stuck. Let's get these head bolts out. It would be cool if they implement in the next game like gaskets and stuff like that, and like pre-lubing and engine break-in lube stuff. Get that filter out of the way. Flip this engine over and get to the business end. Get the oil pan out of the way. Yeah, this thing is rusty and crusty. Oh, I forgot to check to see how much carbon buildup we have on these. Oh yeah, tons. It looks pretty terrible. Yeah, a lot of carbon buildup. All right, let's go ahead and pull these rod caps. And I'll pull all the crankshaft bearing retainers. And I'll speed through the rest of them. Now we can pull the pistons out. In very bad shape, very worn out. Now we can take the crankshaft, grab this oil filter while it's sitting right here, and take the engine block off of the stand. We are done. I'm going to turn these rotors and flip them for a little profit, because I think we're going to upgrade those for sure. There we go. We got those turning down while I'm going to go repair parts, see what I can repair. And what I can, I will. What I can replace with performance, I also will. And I'll see you when it's all done. I guess a good question is it really Brian O'Connor or Paul Walker's Escort? Because technically he was just using it, but he's the one that made it famous. So I'd say, yeah, Brian O'Connor's Escort. Time to build us an engine. Let's start off with the crankshaft. Might as well throw that in. Performance pistons and rings, all 4 of those. And of course, rod caps and our crankshaft bearing caps. Our final rod cap can go on, and we're ready for the oil pan. 4 little bolts for that. We can flip it on over. Get this thing right side up and let's start with the front here. Let's do the power steering pump. performance, of course. Pretty much anything performance that they have. I think everything performance I purchased. And we got the water pump there. And we are ready for our engine head and all the fasteners that go to that. Now we can put in our camshaft, both of those, and every one of our camshaft caps, several of them. Now we can do our engine head. On it goes, at least on this side. And look at that, I forgot one camshaft cap. I was like, why is that engine head not showing up? There we go, on it goes. We are ready for, let's get in here and get our spark plugs. All 4 of those installed. If I can get to this last one. There we go. In it goes, and we can do our spark plug covers. And can't put the wires on yet till we get the distributor on. So let's go ahead and do that. Ignition distributor, our rotor, and our cap. Can't forget the clips. One there and one right there. Now the performance wires can go on. Oil filter, on it goes, as well as our exhaust manifold, or actually headers for this one. Nice and polished. Speaking of, let's put on the intake manifold. Just like so. Then we're ready for a fuel rail. On it goes. Throttle body. And we can go with the timing cover. The first one, at least. And we can do our cam gear. Both of those. On goes the water pump pulley. From there we can get our serpentine belt on. Get an idler roller here. On it goes. We're ready for this other cover. Once this is on, we'll have one more cover right there. And we are ready for our harmonic balancer. On it goes. And then our serpentine belt there to drive the alternator and water pump. And of course the belt to run power steering pump. With the radiator fan, I believe we have completed our Cosworth engine. Indeed we have. Oh, spun around, can't forget the fuel filter. It was hiding behind the head from me there. Now it's complete. We are ready to take this thing off the stand and put it back into our Escort. Just like that. Look at that. Let's go ahead and throw in our interior. Why not? It's just 2 seats and a steering wheel. Not much else. Actually, nothing else. Start back here. Let's throw in our battery. That's pretty much all we have to do there. And then we can lift the car up and then do all the suspension and stuff. Happy Easter, all you guys out there. Coming up. All right, let's get this front suspension cross member on. Then we can do our steering rack, as well as our front sway bar. I'll go ahead and get these rubber bushings before I forget. Then we got our front steering knuckle. On it goes. Lower suspension arm. Just like that. And we're ready for our strut. Spring and strut. There, and we get our front sway bar in link. We can do our front knuckle cover. Oh yeah, let's get these inner and outer tie rods taken care of. Just like that. Front hub. Bearing. Bearing cap. Or wheel hub cap. Brake disc. Ventilated. Going with the carbon ceramic. I don't know if we'll really need it for this little car, but why not? And I painted the rotors red because I was feeling it. And it looks like that is it. We'll go ahead and I've already mounted and balanced our wheels and tires. Throw that on. That is that side done. On to the other side. That is the front complete. Onto the rear. We'll do our axle housing there. The knuckle housing. Rear shock absorber. We'll do our spring cap as well as our spring. And the rear shock absorber cap. Go ahead and do this control arm here. Spring plate. 2 U-bolts. There's 1. And 2. Rubber bushing right here before I forget. Been known to do that. And we've got our wheel hub here. And we should be ready for the axle, indeed. As well as our brake disc. Yep, went carbon ceramic all the way around. Flip around here, make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. Pretty simple vintage style rear end. On to the other side. That is complete. Let's go ahead and get this fuel tank while we're back here. Right there. In it goes. Flip around. Install our performance fuel pump. Let's go ahead and hook up our drive line here. Get our performance flywheel on with our performance clutch. Pressure plate. And finally our throwout bearing. Right there. And the gearbox. We got the adjustable gearbox for this. Let's go ahead and throw on the starter while we're right here. And we can work on exhaust. Performance exhaust all the way back. Get the middle muffler in. Jump back here. Get this rear muffler. And let's hook up our whole drive line with our drive shaft. And that will pretty much do it for underneath here. Down comes the car so we can start fitting body panels. Let's do that. Let's start from the front. Why not? Front bumper. On it goes. Front clamshell lower. Front grille. We'll do our right headlight. Left headlight. Our hood. Fender. Work our way back. Get this door. Let's get this interior piece in before putting the windows in. There it is. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky on these mods. Okay, run back over here. Let's get the right rear fender, as they call it. Call it a quarter panel, but to each their own. Right side mirror. Let's get the trunk. Rear window. I believe there's a trim piece that, yes, could be overlooked. On it goes. Right taillight. And left, along with our rear bumper. For the license plate, I chose Texas, the Lone Star State. State I was born in, actually. Throw in our front left door. I was about to say driver's side, but I would be wrong. Get this left fender on. Can't forget the windshield. I believe that's everything on the... Oh, I think there's a gas cap or something. Yes, there is. And on it goes. Let's get the underhood stuff taken care of, shall we? Let's do the fuse box here. Jump over here and put in the relays. These tiny little relays here. And our fuses. One final big relay, and then we can put the fuse cover back on. Windshield washer reservoir, in it goes. Brake master cylinder in its odd place. Radiator. Jump over here, put in our air filter. And looks like that's pretty much it for under the hood, I believe, yes. Let's add our fluids, starting with windshield washer fluid, brake fluid, coolant, and engine oil. Yep, that looks good to me. Looking at some of the details in this mod, I love this. Important, this vehicle is wired negative earth. See handbook. There are some positive ground cars. I've got a 1931 Model A that I'm restoring right now, and it's got positive ground. It's very interesting how it all works. You don't really need relays or fuses. You can look it up. It's pretty fascinating. It's just kind of tricky. I always have to remember when I'm working on one car, when I'm working on one of my cars, and go over to that one that it's positive ground, and I have to think backwards for a while. But okay, I think this thing is ready. We should send it over to get an alignment. Hey, look at that. One of them was already perfect. All right, that one's close. And this one back here was way off. Perfect. I want to sit in it, see what it looks like inside. That is so cool. I love the vintage look. That is so cool. Off to the paint booth. Wonder how many livery sets there are for this. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. There's 5, and I think the one we want is number 5. Right there. Paint the car. Now that's it right there. Oh, that does everything. That's awesome. I love it. Looks so good. Oh, this car is nice. I'm really digging this. Let's send it over to the dyno and see what kind of horsepower we'll be making. Yeah, there's nothing to tune. No ECU, no carburetor. So we'll see what we got here. Start the dyno test. Factory horsepower, 144 at almost 6,000 RPM and 136 pound-feet of torque. I certainly hope we improve on those numbers. 211, that's better than I was hoping for. 211 will be interesting. We got a drag rating of Class C. We haven't raced it in Class C for a while, so it'll be cool to see what kind of cars we get. We did gain 67 horsepower, 57 pound-feet of torque. Not crazy numbers, but for a vintage car, for a vintage lightweight car like this, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's take it out to the old airport. It sounds good. I actually like that sound. I like the way it idles. Get back here, get enough room. Look at that red line. It's 7,000. We've got an orange line and a red line. All right, here we go. Yep, nothing crazy as far as power. I don't think I really needed to buy the slicks, but let's see what we can do as far as top speed on this little guy. We're getting up to 120. 120 in this car would probably be pretty frightening. 135. Come on, little guy. Can you get to 150? 42, 3, 4. I don't think we're gonna make it to 150. Nope, gotta start stopping now. We can try on the way back. We'll get a little run up. There's 146, 7. No, nope. Oh. Almost ran it off the edge. We got to 147. I'd say that's close enough. The thing is pretty fun to drive. It's really predictable, which I like. Balanced. A nice balanced feel. This thing is a blast on the racetrack. It's very tossable, I guess you would say. Kind of like a Miata or something. And it's very predictable on how it reacts. And you can really charge these corners, that's a ton of fun. Yeah, this thing is this thing is fun. I mean, not a powerhouse by any means, and not a great lap, but I'm having fun, and that's really what matters. Look at this thing. It just eats the corners. So good. Okay, time to go drag racing, quarter mile, Class C. This will be interesting to see what kind of cars we get matched up with. We've got a Bolt Mosquito Mark 6, which is obviously a Chevy Camaro. And there it is. Can our little guy compete up against that thing? Let's find out. Oh, it launches good. Oh, yeah. Not bad at all, little guy. All right, I'll take it. What'd we run? A 13.1. That's pretty good. It launches good. And I ran a 13.1 with a horrible reaction time, too. Okay, this time we are up against the 2020 Toyota Supra GR. There it is right there. All right, little guy. Let's do this. Oh, he's got more power. We tried. At least that time I ran a 13 flat, I was improving. I still have a horrible reaction time. This thing barely gets up to red line by the time the lights go green. And that Toyota Supra went on to win it all. Let's do that again. I want to see see what we get matched up this time. Let's see who we're going up against. First, we are going up against a Mercedes-Benz 2013 Mercedes-Benz G-Class G-Wagon. Let's do it. There it is. Those things can be fast, especially the AMG. All right, let's go. That one's, yeah, keeping up with us pretty good. It looks like we're gonna edge it out. Indeed. Made it into the 12s, 12.9. Now we're going up against an Aston Martin Vantage. I think maybe this is where we're gonna fall off every time. It's what, the quarterfinals or whatever you call it. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Here we go. Maybe. I figured he'd have the top end speed and passed us by now, but apparently not. Oh, we're about matched at the very end there. As far as speed went, I ran another 12.8 to his 13.3. We both had the exact same reaction time, and we were both at 105 miles an hour, so we were matched exactly for speed. So now we're going up against a Hinta Karuga SX or a WRX. At least we made it further this time, because he's going to have all-wheel drive. He's going to have the start for sure, and I don't know if we're going to be able to catch back up. All right, here we go. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. He must have had a terrible start, because we just won that thing. Another 12.8. Decent reaction time. His reaction time wasn't horrible. Hey, I'll take it. We're in the final race against a Nissan 370Z Nismo. I don't think I'm going to win this one, guys. There it is. We shall see, though. This little guy's done pretty good for himself. Wasn't a great start, but we're ahead so far. Oh, man. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I think we got it. I think indeed we won the whole thing with our little Ford Escort. That was a blast. Awful reaction time. Not my best quarter mile time, but I'm not going to complain. We won it. And I'll take that payout. 6,750 credits. I love this little car. It is so good. I mean, I don't drive it near as good as Paul Walker did, but hey, I'm having fun, and that's all that matters. Let's see what the numbers are as far as what we've got in it and what we can sell it for with 100% on everything. And yeah, we bought it for $4,722. We could sell it for $64,321 with a profit of let's just call it $60,000. But I am not going to do that. I'm keeping this little guy. I'm just having too much fun with it. And there it goes. Sent to the parking. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far, those are some big eggs. Please consider giving the video a thumbs up. It definitely helps me out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.